What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Today, we're back with my 2025 Ram 2500 6.7 Cummins turbo diesel. There's a lot new with this truck, and I'm happy to say I just crossed 500 miles, and today is 1 week of ownership. So I've really been hammering the miles on this thing because you can't tow with it until you get to 500 miles. Well, I crossed 500 miles yesterday, and I know for sure I'm definitely over 500 miles today, and today is 1 week of ownership of this truck. In fact, I've already got my tag, and she's still looking pretty good. I've got a pike pass. I've got my car wash signed up with it. I don't have it stuck to the windshield yet because I'm getting the front windows tinted to match the back windows. Why they only did half of it, I don't know. And I'm getting my entire front windshield tinted as well. I'm only going 30% on the front window. I still want to be able to see. I don't need it to be limoed out. I just want the, it's ceramic window tint. So I want those heat reducing benefits of the ceramic tint on the front of the truck. And the windshield, man, so much heat comes through the front glass, it's ridiculous. Why don't we pop the door open? Let's fire it up. Let's see how many miles are on it. It's still, you know, dirty. It was sold to me dirty. They did not have time for the detail. They offered to detail it before anybody, don't go harassing them. They offered to detail. I told them no thank you. I told them I prefer to detail it myself. We are at 569 miles. Now, would you guys like to see what kind of fuel economy we're getting? Let's see. Okay, over the last 546 miles, I'm getting 18.3 miles a gallon. That is combined highway, city driving, my style of driving, we're getting 18.3 miles a gallon. So, I have zero complaints with this truck, like none, absolutely none. I was concerned by buying the Tradesman edition. I was not going to be happy with it because I've had the limited, the Laramie Longhorn or limited Longhorn. I've had all of them. All right, and this is a very, very, very basic model. Look, we don't even have bucket seats. All right, we got the 6-seater right here. We got the cloth interior. I mean, you can look around and see she's pretty basic. Jessica was worried about that as well. She was like, you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it. You're gonna wish you had leather. You're gonna wish you had all the little extras, the heated and cooled seats and everything. And I told her, I said, no, I'm not. Because I know that the truck that I would like to have is $100,000. The truck that I really need and want is $52,000. I am saving by doing it this way. I'm saving $50,000 by buying what I need instead of what I want. So I had a lot of comments on this truck. The video of the truck actually did way better than I expected it to. Now, for a Tradesman trim level, and by the way, what you're seeing on the screen, that's not real. All right, those lines and colors, that's whatever the camera is doing, I don't know. But isn't it crazy that in the Tradesman, we have the 12-inch touchscreen? This is nice. Of course, you got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, all wireless, and I think this is the Uconnect 5. Sirius XM, CarPlay, all your vehicle settings. You know, other than the big screen and a nice built-in trailer brake controller, this is a pretty basic truck. It is four-wheel drive. I would not buy one without it. We do have the power rear window. If I could get you guys lined up back there. There you go. We have a power rear window. Why that was an option, I don't know. I'd be fine with a completely solid glass rear window. I don't know. You got your trailer brake, or sorry, not your trailer brakes, your engine brakes, your tow haul mode, parking assist front and rear. It only has one camera, and that's a backup camera, and that's it. I mean, it's got fog lights and all the power stuff you can imagine. It does have adaptive cruise control, which is really nice as well. I really didn't expect adaptive cruise to even be an option in a Tradesman, especially at $52,000. The deal on this is insane, and to anybody that doesn't believe me and says that the price isn't real, I made it up, I'm lying, it's real simple. Go to David Stanley's website. It's called David Stanley Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram. It's in Midwest City, okay? Just go to their website, that's all you gotta do, and you'll see a slew of these exact trucks sitting there for sale right now. Oh, I forgot, it also has the LED headlights, and And it's got LED fog lights, all LED. It's got the new 6.7 Cummins, and believe it or not, there's a few differences with this one. I had to do some research on it, but this is about 200 more foot-pounds of torque. This is 1,075 pound-feet of torque, and it's 430 horsepower, so I think it's about 100 horsepower more than the previous generation. So there's a lot more horsepower and torque under the hood of this. On top of that, they added a new ZF transmission. They're calling it a Torque Flight. Come on. A Torque Flight, really? Old school name for a transmission. Doesn't seem like it fits right in a new age diesel. But to each their own. The cylinder head has been redesigned, and you may notice it's not as loud as a traditional diesel. This is a very quiet diesel. It's because of the new way the cylinder head has been revamped. It's a new way they're doing the valves. I can't remember what it was. It had something to do with gears or something. I don't know. You may also notice we have these pipes going to the injectors. Guess what? This no longer uses a grid heater. This is using glow plugs again. Like, back to old school, glow plugs. Instead of the problematic CP4 fuel pump that this thing was notorious for, where they actually had to retrofit a CP3 pump to these because the CP4 was destroying everything, like grenading itself and destroying everything. This has, they're calling it a CP8 fuel pump. So they got rid of the grid heater, which could wipe out your engine and cause fires. They got rid of the CP4 fuel pump, and now it has a CP8. They've got the top rail fuel injectors and glow plugs. And check this out, there's the intake manifold. You can bolt it easily, bolt and unbolts to the cylinder head. They've quieted down the valve train, made it more efficient. They added an 8-speed transmission instead of a 6-speed transmission, and they changed the gear ratio from 373 to 342. And with 2 extra gears, plus the higher gear ratio, oh my gosh, man. The diesels have come such a long way. Now, there's a couple other little things that they changed. It's got a 10-vein turbo that's been modified, changed for this generation of pickup truck. But up here, where your crankcase ventilation filter is, and yes, it still has one, and yes, it still has to be changed, you can actually get to those bolts a lot easier, because used to, that CVF cover was more underneath the cowl. I know because I did a video on doing one of these on my own diesel truck, because it was insanely expensive at the dealer. It's kind of a bear to get back there. Not too bad, but kind of a bear to get back there. Much easier to get to it now. And they added an oil filter right up top. Look at that. Easy to get to change your oil. And that's not all. Fuel filters. Top mount fuel filters. Easy to get to right on top here. Very, very nice. There's a lot that changed about the truck. There's some, features that have changed. The looks are a little bit different. I don't think it's that huge of a difference, which, some people may not like. Some people like seeing a major change when they start changing things like the engine and transmissions. I'm fine with this. For the most part, the truck still looks exactly like the previous generation truck. There's a little difference, I think. Maybe the headlights and parking lights, turn signals are a little different. The bumper here, or not the bumper, the grill and everything, slight differences. Aside from that, though, the truck overall still looks, pretty much unchanged for many, many years. And personally, I like it. I am very happy with the tradesman. This thing has like an extra 1,000-pound payload capacity. I think payload on this is, we could look, but I think it is 4,000 pounds. Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm sitting here looking and I'm not seeing anything. It tells me what my towing capabilities or anything are. Anyway, I believe the payload capacity is 4,000 pounds. Towing capacity is right at 20,000 pounds. It may be a little less, like 19,700, something like that, but it's it's got all of it, guys. And you get the benefit of better fuel economy, less vibration, less noise. And let me tell you something about this transmission, all right? This transmission almost feels like it never shifts. Now, some people probably wouldn't like that, and I'm one of those old school folks. I kind of like the feeling of a transmission giving you a positive shift, 1, 2, 3. I like the positive shift. This doesn't really have that. You can kind of feel it shift, but not much. And I'll be honest with you, At first, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get used to that. Yeah, I got used to it. It is so nice. It is so nice. It is so quiet in here. And when I roll up to a drive-through, used to I'd have to shut my trucks off. The previous generation, I've had those. I had to shut my truck off. This one I don't. The drive-throughs, I have yet to find a drive-through. It was like, I can't hear you, where I needed to shut the truck off. It is so smooth and quiet in here. It's insane. And the 10-speed, by the way, the 10-speed only starts out in second gear. Yeah, now you do have the ability to manually change your gears, and you can limit what gear you're in. But on its own, this thing has so much, I mean, you have to understand, 1,075 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot, okay? In first gear on this 10-speed, this thing would just be ripping the tires right off of it in two-wheel. Hell, maybe even in four-wheel drive as well. So it starts out in second gear. I have fallen in love with this truck. I mean, no joke, I have driven the living hell out of this thing. You guys know, I bought it a week ago, 7 days ago. Today is the 5th for me. I don't know when this video is coming out, but today's the 5th. It has been 1 week since I purchased the truck, and it has 569 miles on it. Now, I can finally start towing because the break-in period is 500 miles, but once you hit 500 miles, you can only tow carefully. You got to be careful, gentle. You can't tow crazy. Like, you have to cross 1,000 miles. Once you got 1,000 miles on the old girl, then you can really tow the way you want to, man. And I'm excited about that because I've got cars that need to go to Mako. I've got a car that needs to come back from Mako. I've got plenty of stuff to haul. A lawn trailer is going to be nothing for this. Like, this is what I love about this truck. It is overkill for absolutely anything I could possibly use it for. You know, most people, they go out and they buy something like this, a Cummins, a 2500 heavy-duty truck. They buy this because they're actually going to be pulling things like hot shots. They're going to be pulling gooseneck trailers where you could fit 4 or 5 cars on the back of them. Hell, some people are towing more than that, towing big old skid steers and dozers and stuff with these things. I've seen these things haul, man. These are no joke. These things can pull just about anything. Almost 20,000 pounds you could put behind this thing. That is absolutely incredible. So my little car trailer, you know, at best, my car trailer probably weighs 2,500 pounds. The biggest truck I could put on it probably weighs 6,000 pounds. And they're 7,000 pound axles anyway, 3,500 a piece. So I can't go over 7,000 pounds, and the trailer weighs 25. We're still under 10,000 pounds, guys. We're literally under half of what this truck. So nothing I haul will be heavier than 10,000 pounds. And this truck can tow 20. So it is major overkill, which means this truck, it's got an easy life ahead of it. And again, for the price, seriously, where are you going to get a deal like this? I told you guys before, I was looking all over the place at used Cummins. I wanted the Cummins, man. I wanted either a 5.9 or a 6.7. I wasn't picky. It could be a 5.9. I was fine with that because I knew that no matter what I purchased, I wasn't going to need everything that it was capable of. I wasn't going to be working it super hard. But the prices on these used trucks were just out of this world. And I had a lot of people tell me that it's because they were pre-emissions. The pre-emissions one cost more. And you're kind of right, but I'm telling you, I was looking at other 6.7s as well, and the used prices on them were crazy. In fact, I just saw this truck is a 2020. I found it on ACV auctions. 2020 6.7, obviously, with the 6RFE, whatever that transmission is, right? The 6-speed. It had 75,000 miles on the odometer, which means it was no longer under warranty. Actually, yes, it was. These are under warranty for 100,000 miles, so it still had a warranty. 75,000 miles, 2020. You know what the price was on that? It went for just over $50,000. This is a wholesale dealer-only auction. Now, it was not a tradesman. I'll be the first to admit it was a limited. But I don't think the limited is like a super high-up trim. Maybe it is. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But still, the price, that's insane, man. No way. Not when I can buy a brand new one with a full 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty for 52. No, it's just no way, man. I would take this truck, even if it had the tiny screen, I would still take this truck. Oh, for me, it's not about having all the creature comforts anymore. It's just about what I need and what I'm going to use it for. I don't need the big screen. I would have bought this anyway without the big screen. It doesn't matter. I still would have bought this truck without LED headlights, without adaptive cruise control. I would have bought the most stripped down base model of this truck I could have gotten for $52,000, and I would have been completely happy with it. So having all of these extras, I feel like that's exactly what it is. It's just extras. It's freebies, man. See what I mean? Even in second gear, I'm tearing up the yard. I just did a burnout in my yard. I'm telling you, this truck is nasty. 0 to 60. This isn't going to sound impressive, but it's like, okay, officially it's like 6.9. But I have seen on the forums, people are regularly showing their draggies. They're getting 6.5. 6.5. 0 to 60 in a work truck. This is a major heavy duty work truck. This is not a sports car. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. All while a lot of people, once these things are broken in after, I don't know, 10, 15,000 miles, I'm seeing people with fuel economy numbers in the 20s. One guy that I saw, now I can't say for sure that it's true, but he drove through the mountains. When he got home, he was sitting at 26 miles a gallon unloaded. 26. Everybody else is claiming they're regularly seeing 22 to 24 miles a gallon all day with regular driving unloaded. That's incredible. The kind of power, torque, and speed that this thing has for what it is, all while getting amazing fuel economy, blows my mind. I love diesels. Now, there's some things to consider if you're going to buy a diesel, because these are not like gas cars. You remember earlier we were talking about the crank ventilation filter, the CVF, the crankcase ventilation filter. Yeah, that's something that's got to be done. Now, Stellantis on this particular truck, nobody seems to know exactly what the maintenance intervals are. It seems like Stellantis is saying oil changes are 15,000 miles. No, not me. Not me. In fact, I'm going to be, because what I didn't tell you is that I really do intend on keeping this truck for many, many years. Okay? I know you don't believe me, and a lot of you just spit your coffee out, you're laughing. And I understand. I'm not offended. I get why you're doing that. I never keep anything, but my intent as of today, right now, I love this truck. I love this truck so much. My intent is to keep it for a long time. I'm so tired of buying new cars. Jessica's car should last her at least 6 or 7 years, and I don't think she's going to want to upgrade. I don't see why I would want to upgrade. I'm thrilled to death. We both are. But of course, we're still new into the purchase, so, that could wear off over time. But diesels are not like gas cars, okay? Number one, with every oil change, I would change my fuel filters, okay? And I would not change my oil every 15,000 miles. I plan on changing my oil every 5, okay? That's what I intend to do. Every 5,000 miles, I'm going to change my oil. I'm going to keep this thing so maintained, it should last 1,000,000 miles. You know what I mean? That's my goal. I want to maintain this thing out of this world. Every 30,000 miles, I want to dump that transmission. I want to change the fluid and the filter and the pan gasket every 30,000 miles. And while you're at it at 30,000 miles, you almost might as well do your brakes, have your brake fluid flushed as well. You should probably do your front and rear differential and transfer case at the same time. Coolant, I wouldn't be too concerned with the coolant. I would probably do that every 50 or 60,000 miles. But we were talking about that crankcase ventilation filter. And at the same time you do the CVF, you should also be cleaning your EGR's oil cooler. Now, that can be a pricey job. I did it myself on the last truck, and it wasn't that bad. It really didn't take that long. It wasn't super hard to do your own filter and your own EGR valve. I don't know if I'd recommend that, though, because, it's under warranty. And if anything should happen and you tell, I did it myself, well, watch him try to blame you for whatever went wrong, okay? So keep that in mind. There's a lot of additional maintenance when it comes to these things. The oil changes are more expensive. Fuel is more expensive. The fuel filters having to be done with your oil changes. It's, there is more maintenance, but at the same time, you're getting a hell of a truck. I'll be completely honest with you, I'm so used to using my gasoline V8s between the 6.2 on the Cadillac Escalade and the 5.3 on the 21 Suburban that I have. I'm so used to the gas and honestly the, mediocre fuel economy. I thought I was getting good gas mileage. Okay. I thought I was getting good gas mileage. I wasn't upset about it. I was like, 14 miles a gallon, 15 miles a gallon. Sure, that's not that bad, for the big engine. The biggest engine that I have in those is the 6.2 in the Cadillac Escalade. This is 6.7 liters in a 6-cylinder. All right, this is a bigger displacement than my Cadillac Escalade. And driving the way I drive, which I do have kind of a heavy foot, all right? I don't grandma things around. Like, I like to go, man. And I have moved a couple trailers around my yard. I have not towed, but I did move the trailers out of the front yard, moved to the backyard. And I have let it idle a little bit here and there, which you really shouldn't do on these newer diesels. Idling is like a death sentence for these things. But 18.2 currently miles per gallon. Over 550 miles out of 575. Like, since brand new, I'm managing 18 miles a gallon. That is better than either one, the Suburban or the Cadillac Escalade. So I'm excited once it's broken in to see what the fuel economy goes up to then, and I plan on taking this on a road trip at some point. I'd love to see what kind of fuel economy it gets on the highway as well. Now, we're talking about emissions, and this is one of the things I'm kind of excited about, okay? I don't need any more power out of my truck. Now, you'll see a lot of guys and gals go out there, and the first thing they do to their trucks, they delete them, which avoids the warranty. Okay, not to mention it's illegal. Like, it's federally mandated that you have your emissions components, which includes the dreaded DEF fluid. Basically, it's piss in your urine tank in your truck to clean the soot out of your filter, and they're notoriously unreliable. Most of the things that break on diesel trucks these days are emissions related. And that's the truth. It's emissions related. EGR valves get clogged up. They get gunked up. It causes gas temperatures to get, it clogs everything up and causes temperatures to get too hot. And you can literally burn up an engine from an EGR valve or a cooler being gummed up. It's stupid, absolutely stupid. So I am not the guy that's going to be out here deleting my truck, breaking laws, risking getting in even more trouble. I don't need any of that stuff, okay? But here's what I will say. If, and I'm hearing a lot of talk about this, if we're able to roll back emission standards on these diesels, yes, I will absolutely, if it becomes legal and if I will not lose my warranty by doing it, I would even go so far as to send this back to the dealer. I don't need a tune. I'm not putting 35s or 37s on it. I'm not making it a rock crawler. I just want this truck to last, to be a good truck. And honestly, deleting the emissions is the best thing you can do for these diesels. That doesn't matter if it's a Cummins, if it's a Dirty Max, if it's a Power Stroke, it doesn't matter. Deleting these is the best move you can make to extend the longevity of your diesel. So if it happens and it becomes legal and I will not lose my warranty, I will absolutely be taking this back to the dealership and telling them I will pay you whatever it takes. Get rid of that SCR, whatever the crap is underneath. Get rid of the DEF tank. Well, I guess you could leave the tank. It doesn't really matter. Tune all of that stuff out. Delete the EGR valve and cooler. Let's wipe all of this out and make this truck even more reliable. I don't need any more power. Who needs more than 1,075 foot-pounds of torque for towing? Like in a pickup truck anyway. You know, a semi is a totally different deal, but like in a pickup truck, you could pull a semi-truck with this truck. A semi-truck loaded, I'm pretty sure this would have no problem dragging it up and down the road. A lot of people tell me I should have gone with a Chevy. I should have gone with the Ford. I should have gone with the Power Stroke or the Duramax. Listen, to each their own, and I'm not saying I don't love Ford or Chevy trucks. I do, I really do. The reason, and it all comes down to this, simplicity, all right? The simplicity of an inline six versus a V-style 8-cylinder engine. Guys, I have one cylinder head. Anybody with a Dirty Max or a Power Choke has 2 cylinder heads, all right? The work on most things on a Power Stroke is gonna require a cab off. Now, I hear people tell me all the time, it's not a big deal. Pulling the cab off can be done in 30 minutes on a Power Stroke. I don't know if that's true. I just don't know. I've never had to do it. I would never do it. I would never. Are you kidding me? Pull the cab off to do like just basic work? Get out of here, man. No. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's no big deal. We're just going to take the whole cab off the frame to change a turbocharger. What? In what world is this normal? No, thank you, man. Same thing with the Dirty Max. I don't know that you got to remove the cab for any, routine like major work or anything. I have no idea on the Dirty Max. I prefer the simplicity because I know without anybody having to tell me, it's just common sense. I have less cylinders, I have less heads, I have less problems. It's going to cost less money. And it's Cummins, man. The only thing this thing is missing, and maybe not, you guys can argue with me in the comment section below, but the only thing I think Cummins has been missing all these years, aside from making it legal to delete all the emissions, is an Allison transmission. I'll give that to Chevy, man. I will give that to Chevy. There is nothing like having the name Allison stamped on your hood along with a Duramax, all right? Like, you just know that truck means business. That truck was built to work. Now, imagine if you see Cummins with Allison stamped by it. Oh, my gosh, man. That would make me really happy. That's not reality, though. But ZF makes great transmissions. They are notorious for making really solid transmissions. And I'm going to tell you, I think you're going to find with time this new 8-speed ZF transmission is a great transmission. I have full faith in it. I'm going to over-maintenance it, and I'm going to pack miles on this truck. This is what I bought it for. It is my work truck. I use this for freaking everything. I work all the time, and I'm always moving around. That's what I bought this truck for. And I'm going to take you with me. I only have one thing on this truck that doesn't work properly. And it's not that big of a deal, but it is something I'm going to have to take it in and get fixed. Are you guys ready for this? Now that I'm home, watch it work. Okay, here we go. Really? Let's try it again. It's working now. Are you serious? It's working every time. Of course, because I picked up the camera. It's not working now. It's not working now. I don't know if you can see. I have the button pushed in. Okay? Now it's working. Yeah, so until I picked up the camera, I would have to push this thing 5 or 6 times. Okay, it's working. I'm going to run myself out of washer fluid. It's working now. So I guess I'm not going to take it back to it because I use washer fluid all the time because, my trucks and cars are always getting dirty from the dirt and gravel roads and stuff. This thing, you would have to really get in there and push. And then once you got it, it would only go for a few seconds and then it would turn itself off. And I was fighting with it. Now it seems like it's working. I'm not going to complain. Why would I complain? It saves me a trip to the dealer. The next time I go to the dealer, I want it to be, to get my second set of keys. Speaking of, they never responded to me. I never got my second set of keys to this truck. They said that they would get them to me. They would let me know, and it's been a week, and nobody got me my keys. And I texted them multiple times today and was like, hey, do you have my key? Do you have my key? And he's like, let me check. And I was like, okay, great. 2 hours ago, I'm like, hey, do you have my key? Nothing. He read the messages. It shows that he read my messages, but he didn't answer me. It's like, it's just a key, but I want my second key. It's part of what I paid for. I paid for the whole truck. I want the whole truck. That includes the damn key that they'd probably charge me $250 for if I went to the dealer. Guys, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but I love this truck. I'm serious. All the extra nannies and stuff that you can get with the more expensive model, that's all great. If that's stuff that you feel like you need or whatever, I understand. I do. I have bought $96,000 trucks before, okay? So that's nothing new around here. I get it. You want the nicest of the nice. You want it all decked out. Believe me, I understand, because you want to ride around looking like a boss. That's what it comes down to. You don't need all those extra nannies, okay? You don't need them. In fact, when you get down to brass tacks, these trucks, the more options you add to them, the less they're able to tow. The less payload capacity and the less towing ability you have. And a lot of people have this misconception if you get a dually, which, don't get me wrong, I love the look of a dually. I would love this if it had the big flared bed with the dual wheels on the back. Oh, yes, please. But let me tell you something. Your towing capacity goes down when you have dual rear wheels because you're adding weight to the truck. You are adding weight. People think because you have the bigger, you know, a big ginormous axle with dual rear wheels that suddenly you can haul more stuff. No, that is not the case. And the more crap you add on, the more weight. Whether it's leather seats or heated and cooled motors, fans, all that extra stuff adds weight, reduces the payload, reduces the towing capacity. So honestly, if you're looking for something that can just haul, and you don't need anything super fancy or super technical or super advanced, I think the new 25 Tradesman is it, man. Just get yourself a dumbed down version like I did. It's got everything you need, nothing you don't, and it's an amazing truck. Now, time will tell, obviously, but guys, I feel very confident that this truck is going to last me a long time, and it's going to be a perfect truck for me. I know, laugh in the comments and tell me how I'm going to keep the truck for 6 months. I understand, because this is what I always do. I always do this. I always say I'm going to keep something, and I never keep it. So I don't blame you guys. I'm not even going to get mad. I understand. I did this to myself. At the end of the day, though, I really do love this truck. I am so happy with it, and I can't wait to start really racking miles up on it and see how it does. Listen, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button and let me know. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. And until next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next one.